So, hi there, this is Bob Hatton, and we're back, and I'm calling you to come on, let's go over to Bethlehem. Let's go and see whether the things that the angel told us, or told the shepherds of those days, whether they are true. So the shepherds went to find out. And my invitation is come to Bethlehem, and we've been seeing a few of the aspects about Bethlehem. And as I'm speaking about this, of course, Bethlehem is a small town in the Middle East, in Israel, and there is a place and where lots of the things that we've been talking about, they actually took place. My invitation to come to Bethlehem is to come to the attitude of Bethlehem, come to the mindset of Bethlehem, and I'm trying to explain all the different aspects of that, and I'm really enjoying these talks. Now, yesterday we saw that Israel had moved into the promised land, and this city Jericho was in front of them. They got a strategy, a crazy strategy of how to take this city. They were to walk around the city from Sunday to Friday, every single day, once. They're not to say anything, you've got to keep quiet, and on the last day, they've got to walk 7 times. And you can just imagine, although nobody is saying anything, there'll be the sound of the feet marching around the city. There's about maybe more than 1 million people are on the way, and they're marching around the city. They go around it once, they keep a certain distance away from the city so that the archers can't shoot at them, or the men with the spears can't hit them. So they're in safety, and they're marching around the city. And then they come to the 7th day, Saturday, the Sabbath, when they don't work. God is going to do something, but after they've walked around 7 times, they stop. Right at the front, we got the priests, and they've got the Ark of the Covenant, the presence of God, and they are to blow in their trumpets. And they blow in the trumpets, which are actually these are shofar horns, a horn of some animal, and they blow in there. There's not very much melody, but there's an awful loud noise. And then the people are to cry out this cry of victory. And just imagine being in a football stadium when your team just scores a goal, and all the noise that comes out of that. Well, maybe in a big stadium we have 50, 60,000 people. Well, there's 1 million people. That's many, many more. And they all cry out this cry of victory. And then there is quietness. It's like it must have been like an earthquake that starts, and the walls start shaking, and they come tumbling down. You can imagine so all these bricks and mortar, it just collapses and falls down. There's a big cloud of dust goes into the air, and the people of Israel, they look at the city and they wait till the dust starts to settle. And they see the city has been completely destroyed. This city with the fortified walls, this city with the fierce, well-trained soldiers. It's gone. It's been destroyed. Everything is flattened except one house, a house that was built on the wall. And this house, the house on the wall, that was one of the most vulnerable places to be. I suppose the accommodation there was especially cheap. The king, he would live in the middle of the city where it's on safest and where it's most protected. But the people who lived in the houses on the wall, they were really vulnerable. Now, from this house, there's a red cloth comes out of the window, and the Israelites knew we have not to harm the people who are in this house. This house is something very special. This house is kind of house of refuge. It's like if they'd been in the sea, it would be like a lifeboat. And the door opens, and a woman appears in the doorway, and her name is Rahab. And Rahab is actually a prostitute. And behind her are some of her family members, the other relatives, friends, neighbors, people who she's talked to and told that God is going to destroy the city. But if you come into my house, there'll be safety. In this one place, there will be safety. That's just like the ark in the time of Noah. Noah built an ark, and he spent, I think, 120 years telling the people, God is going to destroy the earth, but come into the ark and you'll be safe. and the only people who listened to him was his wife, his 3 boys, and their wives. There was only 8 of them who were saved. I suppose it's just a small number in the house of Rahab who got saved, but they were saved because they believed, I suppose they believed the word of the Lord. That's just the message that we've got today, that if we come to Jesus, we will be saved. That living as we are living in this world, it has consequences. And, one day we will die. What happens after you die? Well, if you're in Jesus, you have eternal life. And even though you die, you will keep on to living, and you will live in the presence of God forever and ever and ever. But that's the message that we have. Won't you believe it? And some people believe it. Most maybe don't, but we hope that many more people will join us in these days. Now, what happens to Rahab? I mean, Rahab is a prostitute. She's a woman who's been abused by many, many men, and especially these men are the ones who then despised her. She's despised. She's right at the bottom of the social ladder, and nobody, I mean, who wants to have anything to do with her? But God does. You see, that which has been despised by the world, is that what God has called, as elected to come into his kingdom, and that is so a wonderful message. Now, she leaves Jericho, and guess where she goes? She goes to live in Bethlehem. And in Bethlehem, she gets married into one of the families, and this family is actually the family of David, the king. It is out of his family, out of this family, that of course Jesus is born. And so Rahab, the one who is despised, the one who is at the bottom of the social ladder, she becomes one of the ancestors of Jesus, the Messiah. And what Jesus is actually telling us is that his background is not 100% ethnic pure, but he comes from a number of different places. And that is very, 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 very encouraging. That already now we'll see it tomorrow even more. There are many different nations in the being of Jesus Christ. Well, thanks for listening today. I hope to see you tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that again. See you then. Bye-bye.